I want to get the headlines here because there's some Dolphins news, and maybe you're getting into your car, leaving work a little bit early today. So let's do that. Let's start the 4 o'clock hour here with headlines and Alejandro Solana.
They're driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know trucks. Anybody who thought the Dolphins were trading for Lamar Jackson, Linda Cohn thought Aaron Rodgers was going to get traded for down here in Miami. The Tom Brady news. You can go ahead. You can throw it out your car window because the Miami Dolphins have exercised Tua Tagovailoa's 5th-year option, and he will be your starting quarterback certainly next season, Hawk, this upcoming season.
As long as he's healthy. As long as he's healthy, man.
And probably for the year after as well, at least.
This is what David Furones writes in the Sun Sentinel. In a move that reaffirms the franchise's confidence in its quarterback, the Miami Dolphins are exercising Tua Tagovailoa's 5th-year option, according to a league source Friday. The decision locks in Tua through the 2024 season. The Dolphins had already said they were committed to Tagovailoa for the 2023 season. Tua's 4th after being drafted number 5 in 2020. Now, on the 5th-year option, he is set to make $23.2 million in 2024, a figure that's a bargain compared to many of the NFL's high-priced quarterback contracts. The team can still decide to sign Tagovailoa to a long-term extension next offseason, or if it continues to go year to year with them, utilize the franchise tag in 2025. In 2022, that's last season, Tua led the league in passer rating and yards per pass attempt. He threw a career-high 25 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, completing 64.8% of his passes for 3,548 yards. The greater concern now, beyond his performance, is his durability. Tagovailoa missed 5.5 games last season, including Miami's playoff loss to Buffalo due to 2 separate stints in concussion protocol. With all those factors in play, Dolphins general manager Chris Grier was not ready to declare the team was bound to pick up Tua's 5th-year option when speaking to reporters last week at the scouting combine in Indianapolis. He said, we're still having those conversations. But I guess those conversations have finished because they have indeed committed that 5th-year option to him. So there you go. As David Furones writes later on in the story, the 5th-year option decision comes amid swirling rumors and even reports that the Dolphins are exploring outside options at quarterback, despite Grier and McDaniel remaining adamant in their belief in Tagovailoa. Any outside quarterback move Miami makes this offseason is likely to be for a veteran backup quarterback to compete with Skylar Thompson heading into his 2nd season for the number 2 quarterback duties. Bringing back Teddy Bridgewater for that role is among the options for the organization. So, well, I mean, it is an option. I don't know.
It's an option, you know.
But the big story today and the bottom line is the Dolphins are committed to Tua. The numbers I read to you are staggeringly good. And, you know, if you have concerns about his durability, understood. He missed 5.5 games, but the playoff game, obviously, the most important one that he missed. But, man, when he was good, he was great. So I'm happy. I, for one, am happy. I think the Dolphins made the right move here. And, again, like Solana had mentioned earlier, I mean, you look at what Daniel Jones is getting. I mean, if you think Daniel Jones is better than Tua, nah. And if you think that Tua isn't going to command $40 million a year if Daniel Jones is getting it, you're nuts. So this is a really good way to lock him in for the next couple of seasons. And like Furones points out there in the story, they could franchise him the year after that. I mean, Tua could be your quarterback. I hope he is for a long time to come.
Daniel Jones is not better than Tua Tagovailoa.
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. The only argument you can make is that, you know, Tua's head injuries scare you. So you'd rather have Daniel Jones because he's a bigger body and
more durable.
But he's also had injury concerns of his own. So I'm like anybody who's saying Tua's not going to get $40 million.
If you give me those two guys head to head, I take Tua. And then if you give me those two guys and you say Daniel Jones is going to cost you $40 million against the cap, Tua's going to cost you $23 million against the cap. Tua all day, every day.
And Hawk, let's just say, for argument's sake, and I'm not saying that it's more likely than the alternative, but for argument's sake, Tua next year doesn't have to miss time. He's healthy, and he plays at the same level he did this year.
MVP.
Then guess what? Not only that, he's going to get more than Daniel Jones got.
Oh, yeah.
And at this, because of what you did, you still get him discounted at $23 million.
Yep.
It was a no-brainer. We had OJ McDuffie on. I know you weren't on with us, but he was saying the second I saw that Daniel Jones contract, I don't care what my trepidations are around Tua. You just have to give him the money, because if you don't, you're really going to hate yourself next year if he does play up to the level you're hoping he does.
I'm glad you mentioned the OJ McDuffie interview. So I find this to be a funny snapshot into Solana and his designs on himself and this particular show. So every week, 560 WQAM sends out an email with a highlight from each show, including some video. Now, this show airs 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. I did 19 hours of radio this week. I did 19 hours. I missed one single hour of this week's shows. During that hour, Solana and Crowder interviewed OJ McDuffie. Guess what the feature segment out of 20 hours of segments on the Hoch and Crowder Show? Guess what segment got featured in the 560 WQAM email today? It's the Solana interview with Channing Crowder and OJ McDuffie. It just happened to be the 1 hour out of 20 that I missed on the show. And then you say to yourself, wonder what Solana's doing there. Wonder why he's featuring that particular segment. Solana leaves at 4:30 every time that there's a Heat game. Solana missed like 6 hours of this week's shows. He got his interview featured on the email today. Interesting.
But did you see which one was right under it, Hawk? It was your Duncan Robinson take. I gave you the love right under it.
Oh, thank you for giving me the sub headline. I appreciate it.
It's not my fault.
I find that so funny.
It's
I
not
found
my
that
fault.
so funny that I missed 1 hour of 20 hours and Solana featured himself in the newsletter.
Listen, Tua Tagovailoa sells. Okay, we all know. I mean, we don't have to joke around about it. If I post a clip about Tua, it's gonna get more clips than a clip about yesterday's debate about
I'm
meatballs.
I'm just teasing you.
And it's just so happens that you missed the hour that Dolphins legend.
Miss an hour,
OJ
miss a
McDuffie,
lot. I got you.
OJ, he's a legendary Dolphin, and he happened to be good. He gave us the money quote on Tua.
I got you.
Yeah. But that Duncan stuff.
That
Duncan take.
I wish I could have been here for that hour. I obviously missed the best hour of the week, according to Solana. Dolphins also sent out a press release just moments ago. They have re-signed running back Salvin Ahmed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because he didn't play much last year. He had a little bit of run towards the end of the year, but didn't play much last year.
Yeah, well, last year was mostly Raheem Mostert and
Jeff Wilson once they traded.
Jeff Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Edwards, yeah.
Jeff Edwards was, I believe, the host of this game show that featured video games like in 1984, but they replay them on like Nick at Night or something. I don't know. And I saw it the other night. That's Jeff Edwards.
Jeff Edwards. I'm finding an author. But you bring up Chase Edmonds, who's I think is who you got Jeff Wilson confused with. I just saw he got cut right now. Chase Edmonds by the Niners.
He stunk. I didn't like him.
Yeah. Tough couple weeks. No, the Broncos, excuse me. They released Chase Edmonds. Tough couple of months for Chase Edmonds, former Dolphin.
It was terrible.
All right, Hawk. So on top of the Tua news, the Dolphins, and I know we had mentioned it a little bit, but they cleared up a ton of cap space. They restructure Teron Armstead's contract and Tyreek Hill's contract. And to sum it all up, it pushed them to $29 million under the cap.
Yeah, they have a ton of cap space, and they're going to use it. I said it twice today. Like, you don't free up that much cap space and then go, well, we'll see. Like, there's a reason that they restructured Tyreek Hill today. There's a reason that they give him all his money as just a bonus. I think he counts less than 2 million against the salary cap next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty staggering.
$1.165 million is all he'll count, is what his salary is next year as a player. But, they're giving him $24.8 million bonus right now. Not a bad day for Tyreek Hill, huh? 24 million in the bank.
I mean, not like he wasn't going to get it anyway, but yeah, get it all at once. Why not? There's a website called overthecap.com, and they do all the salary cap stuff and all the figures and machinations. So the Dolphins in contract restructures lead the league right now. They have restructured $48.99 million in contracts. So they are doing a lot of funky math to free up cap space.
Yeah, moves are coming, bro. Moves are coming.
Yeah. Just waiting to see what it is.
Hoch, the reality is they think they're in their window right now.
I think they are.
Right? They go out, they get Tyreek Hill. They think they have the head coach that can take them there. And at one point this season, they were 8-3. And
they have two excellent receivers. They believe they have a very good quarterback. The numbers, when he plays, agrees with them that they have a very good quarterback. They happen to have a very good defense as well, I think. And then they've gotten Vic Fangio to head that defense now, who was the hot commodity. Like, yeah, they're definitely in their window. And if you think Buffalo's starting to falter a little bit, and I think a lot of people did think that towards the end of the season, and the Dolphins were almost able to sneak one out in the playoffs at Buffalo. I absolutely am with what they're doing. Like, keep going.
As much as we want to crown Buffalo as the best team in the AFC East, which they are, by the way, they're not New England with Tom Brady for 15.
Correct.
They're just not. They're showing us they're not that. They're not invincible.
Jets will be interesting if they get Aaron Rodgers.
Nah, it's a dumpster fire waiting to happen. I'm telling you, man.
I hope you're right.
It's the Jets. It's a dumpster
right.
fire waiting to happen.